Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office has proposed an evacuation plan for Gaza's civilians from fighting areas. The proposal follows Netanyahu's remarks claiming that a ground offensive in Gaza's southern city of Rafah is necessary for total victory. However, Netanyahu's government is under mounting pressure from foreign governments who are against the offensive. There are fears that it will lead to mass civilian casualties. The Israeli army released a video allegedly showing its forces striking targets in the Gaza Strip. The video was released at a time when Israeli leaders had convened to hear about the progress in truce talks with Hamas. The talks are aimed at recovering hostages held in Gaza. Hamas continues to hold 130 Israeli hostages. Ukrainian authorities claim that a Russian strike has hit a train station in the Donetsk region. The police say that a guided Russian bomb devastated the railway station and the surrounding apartment blocks in Kostiantynivka city. The aftermath video showed plumes of smoke plummeting from the ravaged building. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says that the war in Russia has killed 31,000 of his soldiers. This marks the first time that the Ukrainian leader has revealed the number of troop casualties. He also said that the Russian forces will attempt to conduct another offensive in Ukraine in late May or this summer, adding that the country will prepare for the Russian assault. The leaders of Western nations gathered in Kyiv on the second anniversary of the Russia-Ukraine war. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, Canadian PM Justin Trudeau, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and Belgian Prime Minister Alexander De Croo were all in Kyiv over the weekend. The leaders are looking to dispel concerns that the West is losing interest in the Ukraine-Russia conflict. As the Russia-Ukraine war enters its third year, protesters gathered outside the Russian embassy in London chanting, "Putin, stop war." The protesters, who described themselves as a community of Russian immigrants, marched from the Marble Arch in central London to the Russian embassy waving blue and white flags. Britain's Conservative Party has suspended its lawmaker Lee Anderson. The suspension comes after the lawmaker's contentious remarks on London Mayor Sadiq Khan. Anderson said that Khan was under the control of Islamists. He added, Khan has given the capital city to his mates. Khan, who is the first Muslim mayor of London, called Anderson's comments racist. Anti-right-wing protests continue in Germany's Hamburg. Protesters chanted the slogan, "We are the firewall," to oppose right-wing extremism and the far-right political party Alternative for Germany. According to the organizers, more than 50,000 people took part in the protests. That marks the third major demonstration against the right wing in the city of Hamburg. Polish farmers have joined growing EU protests, blocking one of the key crossings into Germany with their tractors. The protesters lined up some 100 tractors on the Polish side of the border. The blockade diverted Germany-bound traffic, causing massive jams. Farmers across Europe have been protesting against cheap agricultural imports and the constraints that they face from the EU's Green Deal climate change initiative. The Taliban has released Austrian far-right activist Herbert Fritz, who had reportedly gone to Afghanistan to prove that it was a safe country. The 84-year-old was released on Sunday after spending 9 months in detention. According to the Austrian media, Fritz arrived in Doha after the Qatari government helped secure his release. The protests by South Korean doctors over medical reforms have entered their second week. The South Korean government has asked trainee doctors to return to work. The authorities have also warned of punitive action against the doctors who continue to protest. This comes after thousands of junior doctors resigned and stopped showing up at work. The junior doctors are opposing the South Korean government's plans to sharply increase medical school admissions. This is to eventually increase the number of medical staff available for the country's aging population. Former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro has denied allegations that he attempted a coup. The former president organized a rally with thousands of supporters in Sao Paulo and claimed he was a victim of political persecution. The Brazilian police had raided Bolsonaro earlier this month to investigate the alleged coup attempt. On to climate news. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has pledged his government's full support to the state of Victoria amid raging wildfires. Authorities say that more than 15 bushfires were burning in the state yesterday. The wildfire emergency has destroyed several homes and killed livestock. Last week, over 2,000 people were ordered to evacuate their homes. Around 1,000 firefighters have been trying to contain the flames. Heavy rains have flooded the southern regions of Peru. In the Yura district, over 50 houses were flooded by torrential rainfall. Meanwhile, 90 houses were damaged in the Peruvian town of Inapari. Intense rains also washed away several roads in the country. In China, extreme cold temperatures have severely affected vegetable production this year. Authorities have sent out agricultural teams to assess the damage. The country is expecting more frosty temperatures this week. Yesterday, China's weather agency issued the highest alert for cold weather for the third straight day. Hong Kong will likely face wide temperature swings later this week. This comes as a strong monsoon is expected to reach the coast of southern China. Hong Kong's weather department said temperatures were expected to fall to a minimum of 14 degrees Celsius this Saturday. The monsoon is expected to strengthen from today and bring showers to the city. Antarctica's sea ice has depleted drastically for the third year in a row. This is according to the American Snow and Ice Data Center. Researchers say sea ice coverage around Antarctica has dropped below 2 million square kilometers. Less ice could lead to more ocean warming and climate change. The European Union's carbon border tax may not have much of an impact on climate change. This is according to a study by the Philippines-based Asian Development Bank. The study says that these tariffs are unlikely to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. The tax has been designed to make foreign companies pay for their carbon dioxide emissions. It is set to go into force in 2026. On to business and tech news. The 13th Ministerial Conference of the World Trade Organization is set to kick off in the UAE's Abu Dhabi today. The four-day gathering will bring together trade ministers from around the world to evaluate the multilateral trading system. The WTO is trying to push through a package of organizational reforms. This includes reforms in its international trade dispute system. Meanwhile, developing countries, including India, are demanding a waiver for WTO rules that restrict subsidies on food items like rice. India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will reportedly meet with executives from around 20 fintech firms today. Senior officials from India's central bank, the Reserve Bank of India, are also expected to attend the meeting, which is expected to address regulatory compliance issues flagged by the RBI. However, fintech giant Paytm will not be part of the meeting. Last month, the RBI ordered the suspension of Paytm's banking unit operations. The central bank flagged numerous compliance issues with Paytm Payments Bank. Ryanair is likely to reduce a number of its flights during the upcoming summer season. This comes as the Irish carrier is facing delays in the delivery of new aircraft from Boeing. Ryanair was expected to receive 57 Boeing MAX 8200 planes by the end of April. However, Boeing has informed the airline that it would only receive around 50 aircraft, and that too by the end of June this year. US telecom giant AT&T will credit $5 to its customers' accounts. The amount is the equivalent of 1 day's worth of service on an average AT&T mobile plan. This comes after the telecom firm suffered an outage for more than 10 hours last week. The outage affected more than 70,000 AT&T users in the US. US aluminium producer Alcoa has offered $2.2 billion to take over its Australian peer Alumina. The deal could create one of the world's largest bauxite and aluminium producers. The two firms are already part of the Alcoa World Alumina and Chemical Joint Venture. The joint venture produces about a quarter of the world's aluminium oxide supply. Alcoa holds a 60% stake in the joint venture. Goldman Sachs and Abu Dhabi's sovereign wealth fund, Mubadala, have struck a $1 billion investment deal. Under this deal, the companies will jointly invest in several Asia-Pacific markets. The firms have said that these investments will particularly focus on India. Mubadala is reportedly looking to double its investments in Asia by 2030. Fintech giant Ant Group has reportedly emerged as the top bidder for Credit Suisse's China unit. The Jack Ma-backed firm outbid America's Citadel Securities. UBS Group, which took over Credit Suisse last year, is selling its investment bank venture in China. The Swiss banking giant already controls an investment firm in China. As per the country's law, the bank cannot hold two licenses in the same business. Meanwhile, Chinese firm Honor launched its new Magic 6 Pro smartphones globally. The smartphone features an experimental eye-tracking artificial intelligence function. The AI function can enable users to remotely open and move their car just by looking at their phone's screen. The smartphone is already available in China, and the company is working to launch it overseas. Taiwanese chipmaker TSMC has inaugurated its first plant in Japan. This comes as the firm is trying to diversify its supply chains away from Taiwan. Meanwhile, Japan is offering lofty subsidies to chip makers to revive its semiconductor manufacturing industry. During the opening ceremony, the Japanese government announced over $4.86 billion in subsidies for TSMC. The firm is building another chip fabrication plant in Japan as well. US chipmaker Broadcom is reportedly near a deal to sell VMware's desktop remote access unit. Broadcom is in talks with private equity firm KKR for a $3.8 billion deal. The firm took over software maker VMware for $69 billion last year. The sale of VMware's remote access unit is part of Broadcom's efforts to streamline its portfolio. Moving on to sports. In cricket, India beat England by 5 wickets in the 4th test in Ranchi. India, who were chasing 192, were off to a steady start, but English spinners left the hosts reeling at 120 for 5. Then Shubman Gill and Dhruv Jurel's 72-run partnership rescued India. This means India have now clinched the 5-match test series 3-1. The final test will be held in Dharamshala. India's R. Ashwin broke Anil Kumble's record for most test wickets. This happened during the 3rd day of the 4th test between India and England in Ranchi. Ashwin achieved this feat when he dismissed Joe Root. Kumble has taken 350 wickets in 63 matches, and Ashwin's tally is now 352 in 59 tests. The ICC has suspended Sri Lanka's T20 international skipper Wanindu Hasaranga for 2 matches. Hasaranga was found guilty of breaching the ICC Code of Conduct. He had slammed an umpire for not calling a no-ball in the 3rd T20 international against Afghanistan. Hasaranga was also fined 50% of his match fees. He won't be allowed to feature in the first 2 T20 internationals against Bangladesh next month. In football, Saudi giant Al Nassr's 3-2 win over Al Shabaab was marred by a controversy. It was due to Cristiano Ronaldo's apparent obscene gesture after the final whistle. The gesture was captured in a video that was posted online and was directed towards Al Shabaab fans. In the background, chants of Messi were heard. The Saudi Football Federation has reportedly opened an investigation into the incident. Liverpool captured English football's first domestic cup of the season. They beat Chelsea 1-0 to lift the EFL or Carabao Cup yesterday. The Reds captain Virgil van Dijk scored the only goal of the game deep into extra time. Liverpool have now got a record 10 EFL trophies in their cabinet. Real Madrid extended their lead at the top of La Liga to 8 points. They secured a 1-0 win over Sevilla. The contest looked to be heading towards a goalless draw, but then midfielder Luka Modric came off the bench and scored an impressive late goal. In tennis, arch rivals Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal coincidentally found themselves on the same flight. The plane was en route to the US. Djokovic posted a selfie showing him and Nadal smiling next to each other. Both players are now preparing for the year's first ATP Masters 1000 tournament, the BNP Paribas Open in Indian Wells. Italian Jasmine Paolini bagged the Dubai Tennis Championships. She was up against Anna Kalinskaya in the final. Paolini fought from a set down to beat her opponent 4-6, 7-5, 7-5. This is Paolini's second WTA singles title. In hockey, it was a successful wrap of the home leg for the Indian men's team, who beat Ireland 4-0 in the final home game of the FIH Pro League. The match was held at the Birsa Munda Hockey Stadium in Rourkela. India will next travel to Belgium in May for the next phase of the FIH Pro League. Max Denning of Germany has etched his name in the javelin record books. At 19, he became the youngest player to throw a javelin past the 90-meter mark. Denning recorded a distance of 90.20 meters at the German Winter Throwing Championship. This also means he surpassed the mark set for the Paris Games at 85.50 meters. In entertainment news, the weekend for Hollywood was all about juggling between award ceremonies. Let's start with the 30th Annual Screen Actors Guild Awards. Oppenheimer again outshone everyone else in the race by winning awards like Outstanding Performance by a Cast in a Motion Picture and Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Leading Role. Lily Gladstone won the award for Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Leading Role for Killers of the Flower Moon. The Bear won the award for Outstanding Performance by an Ensemble in a Comedy Series, along with Ayo Edebiri and Jeremy Allen White getting the award for Outstanding Performance by a Female and Male Actor in a Comedy Series. Ali Wong and Stephen Yeun were felicitated with the award for Outstanding Performance by a Female and Male Actor in a Television, Movie or Limited Series. Pedro Pascal won the award for the Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Drama Series for The Last of Us, followed by Elizabeth Debicki for her role in The Crown. Meanwhile, 2024's Independent Spirit Awards took place at a beach in California. American Fiction's Jeremy Wright won the award for the Best Lead Performance. Ali Wong took home the award for Best Lead Performance in a New Scripted Series for Beef. Nick Offerman of The Last of Us bagged the award for Best Supporting Performance in a New Scripted Series. Dominic Sessa of The Holdovers got the award for Best Breakthrough Performance. Stephen Yeun and Ali Wong's starrer Beef was named the Best New Scripted Series. Past Lives got felicitated as the Best Feature. Celine Dion claimed the award for the Best Director for Past Lives. The Holdovers lifted the trophy for Best Cinematography. Best Screenplay was taken home by the team of American Fiction, while Best International Film was given to Anatomy of a Fall. The producers of Oppenheimer bagged the top spot at the Producers Guild of America Awards. They took home the most prestigious Darryl F. Zanuck Award for Outstanding Producer of Theatrical Motion Pictures. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse won the award for Outstanding Producer of Animated Theatrical Motion Pictures. Succession was declared the winner of the Norman Felton Award for Outstanding Producer of Episodic Television Drama. Actor Priyanka Chopra has released the trailer of the Oscar-nominated documentary To Kill a Tiger. The film showcases the story of a family who demand justice for their daughter who was raped. The story is directed by Nisha Pahuja and is set in the Indian state of Jharkhand. The documentary will soon stream on Netflix. A set designer has accused French actor Gérard Depardieu of sexual assault in 2021. A case was registered in Paris alleging that he brutally grabbed her. The incident reportedly happened on the sets of Les Volets Verts. This comes after dozens of other women have also accused Depardieu of sexual harassment. However, the actor denies all the accusations. Actor and comedian Amy Schumer has been diagnosed with Cushing syndrome. This is a condition where the body produces excessive cortisol, which is a hormone that helps the body regulate stress. Captain Marvel actor Kenneth Mitchell has passed away at the age of 49. He passed away due to complications from a neurological disorder called ALS. Mitchell is survived by his wife and daughter. The Royal Mint of the UK has honoured the memory of British singer and songwriter George Michael with a coin collection. The Mint released a series of personalised collectible coins featuring Michael with his trademark sunglasses. The British Royal Mint's Music Legend coin series has also honoured artists like Elton John and David Bowie.